Jungkook says goodbye at the military base. Millions of fans heartbroken and in disbelief. Hello Army. Gentle piano music begins. Visuals of a quiet military base under the soft light of dawn fade in. The camera zooms slowly toward a figure in uniform standing still. The silence of the early morning was not just the silence of routine, it was a silence that held within it millions of voices, tears, and unspoken prayers. On this day, Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, stood at the heart of a military base, not as a global superstar, not as the golden Magni, but as a soldier preparing to say goodbye. To many, it felt like the end of an era. To others, it was the beginning of a new chapter in the story of a man who had already given the world so much, and was still willing to give more. But for armies, the fans who have been with him through every note, every struggle, and every triumph, this was more than just news. It was personal. It was painful. And it was unforgettable. Inside the base, the final moment. While the media was kept at a distance, whispers emerged from within the base. Quiet, sacred details began to surface. Soldiers in his unit gathered, forming a circle around Jungkook as he stood tall, dressed in full uniform, his rank badges shining beneath the morning sun. Though not one to seek attention, Jungkook took a moment to speak. Not from a podium, not with a microphone, but heart to heart. "I came here as someone the world may know," he reportedly said, voice steady. "But I leave here as someone I have come to truly know myself." No theatrics. No fanfare. Just a young man, grounded and humble, sharing his gratitude. A few fellow soldiers reportedly shed tears, not out of admiration for a celebrity, but for a brother in arms who treated them as equals. They described him as someone who never pulled rank, who never demanded special treatment, and who worked harder than anyone else. He trained until exhaustion. He stood guard during snow and rain. He laughed with them, and in silence, he comforted them. One soldier later wrote anonymously on a forum, "He never told us who he was. But when we found out, we were shocked, not because he was a star, but because he never acted like one." A global heartbreak. News of the farewell exploded across the globe. Within an hour, hashtags such as #GoodbyeJungkook, #OurGoldenMagni, and #JungkookSaluteYou* were trending in over 80 countries. Fan bases mobilized. Digital billboards in Times Square, Tokyo, and London were updated to read messages of love. "We will wait for you, Jungkook. Thank you for serving with heart." In Argentina, fans lit thousands of candles and released white balloons at a public park, forming a giant JK visible from drones. In India, fans performed a traditional prayer ceremony, praying for his safety and health. And in his hometown of Busan, a local cafe gave out free coffee to anyone who came to write a letter to Jungkook. The walls were soon covered in thousands of notes, drawings, and origami hearts. One letter read, "You once sang that you would be still with us. Now it's our turn. We are still with you, Jungkook. Forever." The brotherhood of BTS. Though they weren't physically present, the bond of BTS could be felt in every breath of the farewell. Jin, currently serving in the military himself, reportedly called Jungkook days prior. Witnesses say their conversation ended in laughter and encouragement, Jin reminding Jungkook to eat well, stay warm, and never forget how proud he should be. J-Hope sent a package, simple, yet powerful. Inside were protein bars, a small book of handwritten affirmations, and a note that read, "I'm waiting on the other side, little brother. Make us proud." RM shared a short yet poignant message through with verse, "When a tree grows, it must shed some leaves. But spring always returns. So will you." Jimin and Taehyung reportedly sent pre-recorded video messages, personal and emotional. They smiled, cried, and reminded him of the promises they made, to come back together, stronger and wiser, as a family. Flashbacks, from Busan to the world. As the world bid farewell, countless fans revisited Jungkook's journey. From his first audition tape, nervous and unsure, to the explosive dance stages at the Grammy Awards. From crying silently during trainee days to standing boldly in front of presidents and stadiums of 70,000 fans. He was never just an idol. He was a symbol. A light for those in the dark. Songs like Euphoria, Still With You, and My You were not just music, they were lifelines for many. In 2023, when he became the first Korean solo artist to top Spotify Global with a debut single, critics called it luck. But fans knew it was years of sacrifice, fear, and courage. And now, in 2025, as he stood in the military, stripped of fame, dressed as a soldier, he looked no less radiant. Because greatness isn't worn. It's lived. Rumors, projects, and the mystery ahead. Of course, fans being fans, theories began to surface. Some believe Jungkook is secretly working on a military-themed documentary, capturing his personal transformation. Others claim he's been assigned a cultural ambassador role within the army, representing South Korea on an international peace initiative. An anonymous HYBE staff member hinted, Jungkook didn't stop creating. He just changed how he creates. The Army's love letter. If there was one undeniable truth during this farewell, it was this. Jungkook is deeply, endlessly loved. Across oceans and time zones, languages and cultures, a single thread connected millions of hearts, the unwavering bond between Jungkook and his fans. A bond that neither time nor distance could break. One fan in Nigeria recorded a video with her mother, both holding hands, tears falling freely. She said through sobs, "You helped me through depression. You reminded me that I mattered. You saved my life. Please come back safe." Her voice cracked, but her conviction never wavered. And she wasn't alone. In New York City, amidst the chaos and lights, a young fan set up a street piano in Union Square. For 12 continuous hours, she played Still With You on repeat. The melody floated through the city air like a lullaby. Strangers stopped. Some cried. Others smiled. Beside her was a notebook, open for passers-by to write messages. Within hours, the pages were filled. "Thank you, Jungkook. You taught me to dream again. Come home soon." In Seoul, the tribute became something monumental. In front of the towering HYBE headquarters, a full orchestra gathered, strings, brass, percussion, performing a breathtaking medley of Jungkook's solo tracks. My Time, Dreamers, Standing Next to You, Euphoria. The music echoed into the night sky as crowds formed, from elderly ajumas to school children, swaying to the sound of his legacy. It was no longer just a performance. It was a prayer. A promise. A thank you. Because for this generation, a generation scarred by uncertainty, isolation, and change, Jungkook wasn't just a performer. He was a light in the dark. A steady heartbeat when the world grew quiet. A voice that said, "You are not alone." And now, it's our turn. Our turn to hold him up. To be the strength he once gave us. The screen fades to black. Silence lingers. Then, a single line appears in white. "You never walked alone, Jungkook. And you never will." The final segment begins, soft piano notes from Euphoria begin to play, slow and gentle like a lullaby. One by one, images appear, handwritten fan letters stacked high on wooden tables, lanterns floating into the night sky, murals painted across cities, Seoul, Manila, Berlin, Cairo, all bearing the same message of love. Drone footage shows peaceful views of the military base, now quiet, blanketed in snow. A single pair of boots by a window. A folded letter on a desk. The wind rustling against a curtain. And finally, a final message appears on screen. "Dear Jungkook, wherever you are, we love you. We miss you. And we will wait for you. Always." The music swells. Fade to white.